everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a very simple daisy design that I'm going to paint on this crackled bottle. I did a video a couple days ago showing you how I do the crackle on the bottles. On this I am using the Home Decor Crackle Medium by FolkArt, and then I use the frosted glass paint, and it's sapphire. And I applied the medium, let it dry for a little bit, and then came back over it. Go see that video. It's 2 videos back from 2 days, like a couple days ago. Anyways, you'll see a link down below. On this video, I'm going to actually go through painting a daisy design on this already crackled bottle. I will be using my flat brush, A Magic brushes. I'm using a 10, an 8, and a 6. And then I'll be dotting in the centers with the Deerfoot Stippler. Paints I'm using, once again, are all FolkArt paints, using a multi-surface and an enamel paint, using titanium white, the silver enamel, or not enamel, but metallic silver, burnt umber. Been using the sienna here recently, so I'm using burnt umber today. Forest moss, bumblebee, skullbush yellow, and thicket. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using the number 10 to create the daisies, and I'm just going to do the front of the bottle for you. And I'm just going to show you, I'm going to get my number 10 full of the white paint, and I'll just touch in a little bit of the silver. I can do a blending stroke if I want. The only reason I'm adding the silver is just to give it some color to it so that it stands out a little bit better. If you want to just do the white, you can. On this one, this is just going to be a partial. I'm not going to keep showing you how I load my brush because I'll be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of room here with the way I'm set up. I need to work on getting a better video situation established. But it's a little bit different now because I actually am using my camera instead of my video camera because it stopped working. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do some full designs. Now, there's different ways that you can do these. You can do like what I'm doing, is just going around and randomly putting in the petals. Or you can do the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, where you do up, side, down, whatever. I just like to go around and put it in. So that's up to you if you want to do it that way or not. I am just going to have these where they're kind of coming towards each other or overlapping. And that's merely because when you're doing a real bouquet in life, they're not going to be all separated out. So it's more natural looking if you actually overlap them when you're painting. Now when you paint over a crackle medium like this, even though you've already got a layer of paint, it's very possible it's still going to crackle, which is fine. I like that look. But just so you understand that will actually take place. Now the harder you push down on these, I'm actually, with this brush, I'm not going like this. I'm turning it sideways and pushing down. If I do it lighter, it's going to be a thinner petal. If I push down, obviously, it's going to create a fatter petal. So you can determine with your pressure what you would like it to look like. Alright, and I apologize. My furnace is getting ready to start running. Alright, so this one I'm going to paint in here is just going to be partial. And you can pick an area that you want to put this if you want to have one. This is partially showing. This one. And it can be, you can place it wherever you choose actually. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is get my Deerfoot stippler, and I'm just going to put the base coat, the first coat, and I do dip it in here and then I do pounce it off just so it's not too full of paint. And you can create your centers differently. They don't have to be the same. You can make them smaller, you can make them larger. It's really up to you. And when I paint a design, my ideal or my thought is for it to be just an idea of what you can do. Of course you can paint it, you know, like I did, or you can add your own twist to it, put your own personality in it, and that's fine as well. Now this one, it might seem a little big because I'm going to kind of just go around here like I'm showing it. Yeah, like that. And again, you don't have to even put a center in this one if you don't want, but I like to, you know, add it if I can. Then what I do is I take my Deerfoot stippler, I'm going to go back in, hit the back end of the bristles with the brown, and I'm going to come in here and just kind of tip in as much as I can towards the bottom. If I get towards the top, that's perfectly fine. Not a biggie. But anytime I add paint, I, for the most part, will tap it off on my palette. If you're new to my channel, please know that my intention here is to create simple patterns for people that are learning how to paint to create. That is the full intention. And I think on this one, what I'm going to do, I am going to come up through here. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit around here. And I think what I'll do is end up coming over this and tapping in this petal here. Now what I'm going to do, and I don't dab any of this off in between, or on like on a paper towel or whatever, I just go back in and come over it, come over this, and I tap it off on my plate, but I'm not going in between colors and wiping the brush off is what I'm saying. Make sure I'm on here. And keep in mind too, I am left-handed, so if for some reason I'm creating something that doesn't feel natural to you, you might have to switch the direction that you're going. So like if I go on these, it's not necessarily the case, but if I go from, say I do wiggling and I'm going from right to left, you might have to go left to right. So just keep that in mind. That's a possibility if you're finding what I'm doing to be a little bit challenging. And I know sometimes that kind of sounds silly, but trust me, I've had to adjust a lot of times based on the teacher and then getting them to understand that I'm left-handed, so what they're teaching me isn't flowing right for me. sometimes it can be kind of embarrassing. I'm going to go ahead and round this out a little bit more. So I was trying to do it around that petal, which if I'd pulled this flower out a little bit better, that would have worked better for me. But since I didn't, and just so you know too, centers can be something that you have to work on a little bit. Sometimes you can find that just to get them to look the way you want them, yeah, sometimes you just have to keep working them in order to feel that way. And you'll see, I'll come back over that here in a minute. And it's okay. You gotta work them a little bit. There's no rush, right? No rush. Almost did that one. So they're pretty simple. All right, I think I've got them exactly the way I want them. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take the number 8 brush and start doing my green. Now on this one, I'll show you a little bit. I basically just hit the sides of each of the brush with the colors I want to use. If I want to tap in something else, I just choose which side I tap it in, maybe do some blending strokes, and that's it. I typically will have 3 or 4 colors in my leaves. That's just pretty common for me. Okay, so I am just going to come through here and act like I'm adding these together. There, I'm putting them on a stem, and I'm going to come down like that. Okay, so I'm coming over here. I'm going to come over here. I don't have to work too much on these because a lot of times I end up filling them in with leaves. So, and this one I'm going to come out here a little bit, come down, whoops, come down, and just just kind of adding a space to put in some filler flowers or filler leaves. All right, so I'm just going to continue adding this in. Trying to think if I got like enough. And you can add like a little branch off of it, so it's not all the same distance. All right, so my leaves that I'm going to do on this bottle, and hopefully it'll work okay on here because of doing it on glass. But they're a little bit different. I'm going to do this kind of a leaf where I'm pulling it towards the stem, where the stem would be, and I'm just doing quick movements. I'm going to turn it like this so you can see it. Quick movements just very light, and continuing down the bottle to the tip. Now I do have some writing on this bottle, so that's why it's kind of looking like it is right here, but we'll just go with it. Let me turn it this way. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera with the tip of my brush. And then you can come down it, just add a little stem in it. Going down. I'm just going to add more to it because I feel like it's not looking exactly the way I wanted it. And they're just supposed to be very fun. Sorry, I keep doing that. Just loose leaves. A little bit different than what I normally do. We'll come down it, put the stem in it. And then I'm going to, let's create another one. I just do that real quick. Let me turn it this way. I wanted to try to get a little bit darker green in it. It's not really working as well as I had hoped. I can do it better on paper, I think. They're not working out the way I want them. Well. Oh well. Okay, so let's see where else I can put some. I'm gonna do this. Can't get the colors to be like I want them. This probably wasn't the best leaf to try on this project. Okay. I wish I could get them to look the way I want them. It's not really the right way, but oh well. It's a different leaf, right? But I'm like, yeah, it's a different leaf, all right. I don't want to do it. They're just not showing up like I thought they would. I didn't practice it on glass, so I should have probably done that. Oh well. Get the gist, right? Just lightly touching it. Lightly. Like I said, there's so many different ways to make leaves that it's It's not even funny. I mean, you can, incredible amount. This is probably closest to what I was trying to achieve. As you can see, I wasn't successful on these. Do a different one over here. So basically, you just go down one side and you're going to do just little movement. So I would say don't try these leaves. And I am doing them just very lightly. You do the longer at the top and then shorter at the bottom. And there you go. So that was a little bit better. More what I had in tune to do. Alright, so then the next thing, I want to go back to my white again because I want to do some little blooms. So I'm just doing my little strokes. And I'm going to do, I think I did 4 on that. Just like that. Just very simple. And then I told you I'd go back over this one and do my little stroke towards the center, which I had planned to do. See, if you go over it again, it'll get a little bit darker, which you can do. I'm not going to do that, concentrate too much on that because it is crackling and I'm afraid it'll pull the paint up. So I'm not going to do that on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and take my little brush and I'm going to do probably a little bit lighter. I know I need to be showing you this, but a little bit lighter stroke, well, lighter color with that moss green, forest moss. And I can use some of the other, come into it with some of the other, the other green if I need to, if I want it to show up better. I'm just going to go around these little buds and just gently pull towards them. And like I said, I can add some darker green in here, just could show up a little bit better. I can come up away from it out here. Do the same over here. Sorry, since I'm left-handed, sometimes I block the view. I'm not trying to, but it happens. I think I'm gonna put a little bit darker green in there and come through like that, that, so you can see my little buds. Then I'm going to just take the little brush and just do some pulls with the darker green because I think it'll show up better. And just kind of pour towards them. I can turn my brush, go like that towards it, just come down here, come out like that. Then if I want, because I initially had intended to do this, I had another stem that was coming up. That's what this is. And I can come through here. So I'm, like I said, not too concerned about these leaves because I intended to do another like filler leaves like I'm doing here to come up and over them. Like that. And if you want to turn it, you can turn your brush this way if you feel like the white will show you more. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you don't want it to stand out that much. Then I can come down here. I'm going to use the lighter green still. I could even add a little yellow in it if I wanted. But I'm going to do one of these where I just do pull. You can push down a little bit and pull. Make them longer as you go. Shorter, longer, doesn't matter. If you need to turn it, like I'm going into a spot now where it's got a lot of green in it, I can do the white over it. Or I can even go into the darker if I want, so it shows up better. So I said don't get too crazy when I do leaves, because if I'm going to be adding filler leaves, those can possibly cover it up or add to it. But see how relaxing it is? I mean, I could just sit and practice painting or drawing all day. Just very relaxing. Good for your soul, right? Okay. And if you feel like it needs to be spruced up a little bit more, just add to it. Not a biggie, just add to it. If your paintbrush gets too full of paint, just wipe it off on, like, say, a paper towel. Okay, I'm gonna quit messing with that because I feel like I'm making it worse. And I like my little filler flowers. And you can even do those in here if you want. And if you want to do, there's some little fillers that kind of come in like this. Fine. Or if you want to do these. And I'm going over this writing a little bit here. You just gotta kind of take your brush and go over it. And I just put little stems in here. I like that. Alright, I think we're done for now. If you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Before you leave, share this video on your social network with all your family and friends. Pretty darn easy. Just hit that share button underneath the video and it'll give you all the options that you have where you can share it. And until the next time, thanks so much for stopping by and you have a good one.